So here we are in Egypt, Lee, and it's a few weeks before our Australian Youth Orchestra and Flinders Quartet project, featuring your work, Four Rooms, a piece that I commissioned you to write after we lost our son Manny to suicide in 2022. We've just performed your piece, Requiem, in a concert featuring a number of groups, including the Biblioteca Alexandria Orchestra and Choir, the Cairo Celebration Choir, and international soloists. And this piece is very much a part of the journey towards Four Rooms. It was a piece also dedicated to Manny, but this one was with a focus on those left behind, which is indeed part of the title. It was a piece of great beauty and incredible pathos. Last night was a very special evening. Tell us a bit about that, Lee, starting with why are we here in Cairo?
We're here because 2 years ago I was asked to write a piece of music to commemorate your boy Manny. And that was something that I didn't really know how to start, because what you wanted was something I wasn't sure I was able to give in that format. And I was amazingly asked to compose a requiem by some Egyptian musicians who I had met in Saudi Arabia, of all places. And when I asked them who that piece was for, and they said, well, nobody, I thought, well, actually, I think I do know. And what that enabled me to do was, I felt like I was able to meet your request with this work, so that with this double string quartet, we were able to make that about.
We moved in a different direction.
We moved in a different direction, and we
were
able to, we were able to lean into, a concept which was perhaps a little more confronting, it was perhaps a little more challenging, it was perhaps a little bit more appropriate for chamber music.
Yeah.
Because chamber music doesn't have the big soundstage affect of 120 voices and so on and so forth. It's intimate,
Yes.
and it's dense, but it's dense in an intimate way, and it is the kind of force that you would more appropriately choose for something that is pretty dense. Conceptually.
And internal too.
Internal,
I think
yes.
In the mind, and the name of the piece,
Four
Four Rooms, is very much an inside piece, isn't it?
It's an absolutely inside piece. It's really about a journey in.
Yes.
And you move through these four rooms of four different, very inner experiences that ends in a very cold place, whereas the Requiem is a journey out. So to be here, to have done that, and then to be heading back to Australia to do Four Rooms seems...
Yes, they really complement. They're very different, aren't they? But they're really...
They are different, but they dovetail.
They dovetail. Yes.
If that's the right word, and this project here was so
deeply moving.
Well, what I was going to say was that it went through so many kind of iterations of when is it going to happen, how's it going to happen, is it going to happen?
Is it going to happen? Who's
and
going to make
there were
it happen?
so many things that I wanted to say about it before I knew where we were at. Whereas what was interesting about the octet is it was very, it's happening.
Yeah.
So make it happen and make it be this.
Yes. And by be this, I think it's important to sort of explain that we're talking about mental health, primarily in youth. So
Yes.
really looking at, how that looks for youth, how they might express it, with a focus on musicians because of some of the particular ways, particular stresses that musicians have. And so we really went into that knowing that we were going to be working with these young musicians, wanting to be really honest and really careful, and make a difference with this music and hopefully make a difference in their lives, whilst recognising, the terrible ugliness, really, of the experience.
Well, just being able to be transparent about what it's like to have a mental health struggle. I had my own. The last movement of the octet is actually the content of that. The notes, the content of the last movement is music that I wrote when I was 18.
Yeah, wow. Which is the age that Manny was when he died.
Yeah. But there was something necessary about being here and having the Requiem be put out into the world, because I think I was so skeptical about the practical effect of a piece of music. And what we're talking about is very concrete outcomes that are not musical. And so the Requiem actually, it's not that I didn't think that it could, but when you see the very real result of music on people,
it was very concrete.
It's
very obvious.
And so I think that the octet has almost been given permission by its big sister to to have a swing, and I think that people will be moved in a very different way. And it's I had quite a number of people make comment about how important it was that they understood what motivated the work. And I think that helps people to tie in their real life experiences into something that is abstract. Music is abstract. There's no two ways about it. You can't explain why music moves you when it moves you. You can't explain why. So, and it will be the same with the octet. It will be really important to explain why it's there, what has motivated it, so that people have got like little toe holds to actually relate to what's being expressed abstractly.
But so after this Requiem, are you feeling more comfortable with that responsibility that you felt at the start? When we were talking about the 4 rooms, mental health, and
I think we've achieved
how how it moves out into the world.
I think the work achieves it, certainly on paper. I think the work will achieve it when we hear it put together. And I know that you said we had a rehearsal or a read through of the piece a few weeks ago, and I remember you saying, look, it's not as... And I think that when it's all together in the space and it's working, and there is that, here is why this exists, I think it will make people relate the way that they need to, and I suppose my hope in that work is that it initiates discussion. Yeah, it initiates discussion
and makes me feel less alone in those experiences, because they are quite ugly experiences.
Yeah.
And there's the anger and there's the bleakness.
Well, I suppose the difference between this and the Rec is that we're able to have some of that expression in there, but we're on a journey out.
Yeah.
Whereas that there is beauty at the beginning of our octet.
Yes.
And there is a form of joy towards the beginning of the octet, but then it goes inwards to a cold place. So the last point is not the most comfortable point.
I think you should explain the last movement.
The last movement, the 4 rooms, roughly speaking, are to do with, the first room is to do with melancholia. The second room is to do with like a manic type of energy. And these are, in my view, very alive forms of difficult mental illness or mental struggles. And then we move to the third and the fourth movement. The third movement is rage, which is a destructive mental state. And then the final state, which is, again, in a round term, depression, which is also, that is the foundation destructive mental state. So it's the last place you want to be, right? It's the last place anybody wants to be. So when you enter that room and you know it's the end of the journey, it's a pretty cold, bleak place to end your journey. And
you pull no punches. You know, there's no Luxor Turner.
No, there's no Luxor Turner. And so the instruction to the musicians with that last room is it needs to nearly be timeless. It needs to nearly be, you know, if there were clocks in the other rooms, the second hand on the clock in this room stopped. It's kind of frozen. And that's what it's like, because there isn't no action there. You know, you're there and you're just.
Well, I think that very much reminded me of when Manny wrote often that he hadn't cried in a very long time, and that he was feeling very both distraught but also numb, I think, and that moment when he decided that this was it. You know, he couldn't stand this pain anymore. I think you see that it wasn't this huge time for him. It was just now, and he had circled it in his diary with a gold pen. That's the day, and it felt like that last little moment in the fourth room was that, like, this is it.
Yeah.
And no great big guns and
no,
but cannons. It was just a quiet moment. Yeah. That's how the whole piece finishes.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. There is a moment in the last movement where it represents an almost physical push to make a mental decision.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you have to flex every muscle in your body to make that choice. And then it's about stillness. Yeah. So
I hope for this piece, I mean, obviously, we're talking about it musically, and it is primarily musical, but we're hoping that people will hear it. They will, it holds some of Manny in it, but it also holds something for other people in it. And as you say with the Requiem, people make their own associations and connections.
They have to. They have to.
But, ultimately, it's one thing for us, and, we're hopeful that for others it is also something that either provides solace like the Requiem or...
It's a different way. I suppose it's a different way of providing solace, because what it potentially does, and I know when I was going through my own thing, and I found out, because I went through it alone for a number of years before my father noticed I was doing some stuff. He said, "What are you doing there?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you?" And he described a few things, and I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I do the same thing."
Yeah.
And then suddenly knowing, and then he said, "Check this out." He gave me a book.
Yeah.
And I read it, and I was like,
You're not
I'm
alone.
not the only one.
You're not alone. That's
So,
it.
and that alone was like, I'm not a freak.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
stop laughing. But that may be the solace
Yes.
that,
That's
and
exactly.
honestly, it's like, if you go to look at an exhibit of Goya, you're not going for a good time.
No.
So, but it's the most amazing art.
Yeah.
So my hope is, okay, don't go for a good time,
No.
but know that we put everything into this. It's an expression of something that's difficult. It's an expression of something that may be confronted in your own way. And maybe the fact that somebody has gone to the lengths, or people have gone to the lengths to commission it, and then I've gone to the length of actually delving into my own experiences and trying to express that abstractly. We'll let other people know that, oh,
They're not the only
this is actually a very common,
yes.
normal thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a normal challenge.
Yeah.
It's a normal challenge. And look, for people, I think, that are at the point that Manny was, but then there's a whole, if he's at the tip of the pyramid, if I may.
Even there's a pyramid. How many kilometres?
If he's at the tip of the pyramid, then the people that are just below the apex, well, they might be able to go, you know what?
I'm going to get
okay. And then the trickle down is maybe where, maybe that's what we're going for. Maybe that's what that was not 1 minute.
Okay, well, I'm going to